Hey everybody, Matthew Paulson here. Today we are going to talk about email marketing. So we'll discuss why email is an important marketing strategy, how to grow your email list, how to make sure that your messages actually get to your users' inboxes, and what kind of messages to send to your email list. Let's do this. This is officially episode 14 of Startup Q&A, the online video show that helps small business owners, startup founders, and entrepreneurs grow their businesses faster and achieve their dreams of financial freedom. So whether you're just getting started or if you have 100 employees, this is the show that will give you actionable ideas and advice in your business. So we are going to do a theme show on Startup Q&A today. Obviously, we are in a little bit different setting. We are in my home office and not my downtown office. My kids are sick, so I am at home. So we're doing a recording at my house today, and this is the background that you get to see. I didn't stage it at all. This is just what it looks like every day. So today we're going to talk about email marketing. This is, I think, episode, 15 now? And nope, 14. And one thing I've noticed about the different episodes we've done is that the content between questions tends to be a little bit disjointed. So for the next few episodes at least, I'm going to try to do a theme for each show and then answer several questions around that theme. So this is kind of the first in, say, a two-part series on email marketing. So today's questions and next week's questions will all focus around email, and then we'll pick another topic from there. So if you have a topic you'd love to hear about in detail on the show, feel free to send me an email, matt@mattpaulson.com, and I'll be glad to consider that for an upcoming episode. Also this week, the questions that are on the show nobody actually asked these. They're just the most common questions that people have about email marketing, and they're probably the questions that people would ask anyway. So I am going to just answer the common questions that come up over and over again when I talk to people about email marketing, but they did not come from any specific person. But before we dive into the questions today, I wanted to share a tip on email deliverability that will help make sure that your messages get to your users' inboxes and don't get stuck in the spam folder or get not delivered at all. So this is a segment that I call the tip of the week. So this week's tip is to test every email blast that you're going to send against mail-tester.com. Now MailTester, what it does is it gives you an actual email address to send a test email to, and then MailTester will run it against a variety of different checks that email service providers will use to determine whether or not your message should get into your users' inboxes. So one thing they do is they run it against an anti-spam filter called Spam Assassin, and they'll tell you all the error messages that Spam Assassin sends. So they'll say, oh, Matt, you're including a lot of make money online kind of language in your email. You probably shouldn't do that because Spam Assassin doesn't like it, so take out these words and then you can fix it. So there's that. There's a lot of other great stuff. It makes sure that your email is formatted properly, has all of the right headers and that kind of stuff. It makes sure that you have all your DNS authentication records set up, so your SPF records, which stands for Sender Policy Framework, and DKIM records, which are domain keys, identified mail, or something like that. But these are records that are for your domain that says your web server has, or your email service provider has the permission to send email on behalf of your domain name. If those aren't set up, that's pretty much an instant you're going to the spam filter. So that will, MailTester will make sure you have that set up, and it will just do a lot of different things like that to just make sure that you're doing all of the basics right with your email. So MailTester is a great tool. Whenever we have an email message that's going to go out in a couple of days, my assistant Stevie will send the test message to MailTester from our email service provider. I get the results of that. Then if we need to make any adjustments, then we can do that before the message goes out, and that certainly has helped with our deliverability and our open rates, and at the end of the day, the revenue that we generate from the email, just by making sure that everything is set up properly, our messages are formatted properly, and we're not going to set up a spam filter. That can make a big difference in your deliverability. So that's the tip of the week. Let's dive into the questions. So every week we take 4 or 5 questions through Facebook, but not today because these are questions that I made up, and we answer them. But if you have a question you would like to have answered on a future episode of the show, go to the domain startupqa.co, and that will redirect you to my website, and under the Startup Q&A show menu item, there is a link to ask a question. I also periodically just ask on Facebook if people have questions. So if you see one of those posts on my personal page or my business page, go ahead and respond, and I'll try to include that in an episode of this show as well. All right, so the first question today is, why is building an email list important? And a lot of people say email is dead. I don't read email. And the people that say this tend to be the people that are younger and very tech savvy. But these views aren't representative of the world as a whole. The statistics really tell a different story. First, I think the reason to use email is that the ROI on email marketing is just massive. The Direct Marketing Association did a study. They said that for every dollar that you invest in email marketing, you'll get an average of $43 back in revenue. That's, for $100, you get $4,300 back. I don't know anybody that wouldn't want a marketing strategy with that kind of ROI. I'll spend that money all day long until it stops working. Second, I think it's important to recognize how big of a platform email is. It's bigger than Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and pretty much every other social network combined. There are about 2.6 billion email accounts worldwide. 72% of U.S. consumers use email or read email on a regular basis. And 61% of people say they like to receive email from businesses. And 72% of consumers say that email is their preferred way to communicate with the companies they do business with. So email is just a massive platform. It's bigger than any social network. It's just huge, and if you're not using it, it's like you're missing out on using 2 Facebooks. That's really what this is. Another reason to use email, it's a federated technology, so there's no one big company that owns it. So with Facebook, maybe you build a Facebook page, and then they said, oh, by the way, you need to pay us to contact the people that like your page. Nobody can change the game on email like that because it's an open standard. Google can't get in the way of you contacting your customers, neither can Facebook or Twitter or Apple. It's a direct one-to-one relationship, and no one big company can say, change the rules of the game and say, no, you can't email your audience anymore, which is really nice. Email also turns your casual people that are on your website, your casual visitors, it turns them into fans. So the way email works, you get on somebody's mailing list, they send you content over and over and over again. So normally you might just go to their website and you forget about it. But if they send you, an email every 3 days with great content, you become a fan of that brand, you like their stuff, and all of a sudden, you find yourself, you're not just went to the website once, left, and never came back again. You find that you're a fan of their content because they keep sending you stuff and you keep liking it, and all of a sudden you find that you're buying stuff from these people, and you're signing up for their other mailing list, you're on their website all the time, and the reason is it's because they have that ongoing communication channel of email where they're sending you stuff, on a pretty regular basis. So that's pretty much it. Some people say they hate email. Some people say email is dead. The stats say otherwise. The marketing results say otherwise. Email really is a great marketing channel, and if you're not utilizing it, you are definitely missing out on some revenue in your business. So that's the first question. All right, question 2. How can I build my email list from my website? First thing is, obviously, you have to ask for the person's email. So the way to do this is to put a prominent opt-in form on your website. So this could be kind of your homepage. There's a big place to put in your email or email address. You could have a pop-up opt-in form like we do on MarketBeat and US Golf TV. You could have an opt-in form below the post on each page. Below the main body of your article, you could have an opt-in form there. You could have an opt-in form in the sidebar. You could do kind of a bar that runs across the bottom here. You have something up top that runs across the top. Or something in the corner. There's lots of different places that you can put these things. What we do at MarketBeat is we have a pop-up opt-in form that shows the people once, and then it doesn't bother them for a while. And then typically, below the content of a post, we'll have another opt-in form, and then in the sidebar, we'll throw a third opt-in form. And that's worked out pretty well for us. So there are plenty of different, opt-in form plugins that will help you do this. Opt-in Monster, Opt-in Cat, SumoMe, Hello Bar, Opt-in Revolution, Pop-up Domination. These are some of the common plugins that people use. So these plugins will hook up to your website. They'll put the pop-up in place. They'll connect with your email service provider, whether that's MailChimp or Aweber or who knows who that would be. But that plugin will connect your ESP. They'll make the form for you. You just have to fill in what your copy is going to be, and they'll do all the technical work, connect your email service provider and actually show the pop-up, and that'll make it just really easy to collect emails on your websites. So your opt-in form, you really have to have a reason for somebody to give you their email address. If it just says, hey, sign up for my mailing list, you're not going to get a whole lot of opt-ins. So you really have to give people something in exchange for their email address. Give them some kind of free report, a software download, maybe a newsletter, who knows what. But you have to give them something that they perceive as valuable in exchange for their email address, so that they're willing to, give their email up to you. People see their email as having, they know that it's a valuable commodity to you as a marketer, so they're going to want something in exchange for that, to hand over their email address. At MarketBeat, what we do is we do our newsletter sign up, and people like our newsletter, so that is a valuable enough of a lead magnet to get people in the door. US Golf TV, we always do a video series, and then they rotate every day. So if somebody lands on US Golf TV, there's a pop-up that says, hey, do you want to improve your drives, hit your ball further down the course? And then there's a free video series that they can get for giving us their email address. And that strategy alone on a website that doesn't get all that much traffic has taken us from 3,000 email opt-ins to 88,000 email opt-ins in about 2.5 years. So just doing the basics right can really make a difference in the size of your email list. A couple other important caveats. Make sure that your lead magnet, your offer, is relevant to the content on the page. So if you'll write about 5 or 6 different kind of topic areas, maybe you could have 5 or 6 different lead magnets. So that way, if you're talking about golf on one page and basketball on another page, the golf page has a golf opt-in form and the basketball page has a basketball opt-in form. It's very important to make sure that the stuff on your pages, or the opt-in forms, are relevant to the content, because if people are coming to learn about golf, they want to see something about golf. They don't care about basketball when they're doing that searching. Finally, make sure to keep your opt-in form simple. And every opt-in form I do, I only collect the person's email address. I don't even bother collecting their name or any other piece of information. For every additional form field that you add to your website, you'll collect on average about 30% fewer opt-ins. So if we're going to collect 100 opt-ins with one form, you might collect 70 with 2 fields, and then maybe 45 or 50 with 3, and it just goes down from there. So keep it really simple. If you need to collect other information, give people a link in your welcome email to fill out a profile, but definitely keep it as simple as possible, and you can just go back and collect any other information that you want, like gender or interest. You can always do that later on using the technology from your email service provider. So that's pretty much it. On your website, have a good opt-in form, make it hard to miss, have an offer that's relevant to people, keep it simple, and just have good copy. Use one of the standard plugins, and that's really all there is to it. And then if you have the basics set up right, you get a decent opt-in rate, and then from there it's just a matter of driving traffic to your website so that those people end up signing up for your email list. So question 3, next question is, what are some other ways that I can build my email list? So there are, some people think that the only way to build opt-ins to your mailing list is to have an opt-in form on your website, but there are actually a ton of different ways through paid advertising and just other strategies that you can use to grow your email list. So the first is co-registration advertising. This is effectively advertising on other people's thank you pages from their sign-up forms. So like if you go on to street.com, you sign up for one of their things, sometimes you'll see an offer from MarketBeat. If you check the box and then you click the button on there, that person, then you'll end up subscribing for MarketBeat as well. And that's a strategy that's worked out really well for us. We pay $2 to $3 per email address, and then it ends up being worth $7 to $8 to us over the course of time. So that's definitely worth checking out if it's in your industry. We probably spent over $500,000 on co-reg in the last 3 or 4 years, and it has definitely been a strategy that's doing well for us. It only works in some industries. For finance, there's a ton of co-reg going on. A few other spaces, sports, internet marketing, survival. So just be aware that you might not be able to do it if you're in an esoteric industry, but a lot of the popular ones like health, there's definitely coverage out there. Email swap. So if you know somebody else as a mailing list, you can you can write an email to send to their list to promote your stuff, and they'll send, whoever you're swapping the email with, they'll write an email to send to your list. You swap, and then you can both benefit from each other's audiences. That's a great strategy that works. You can rent other people's email lists. So you give them a message, and then you pay them. If somebody else who has a mailing list, you pay them to send your message to their mailing list. That works. You probably have to work through an agency to find people that have lists to buy, but it's definitely out there. People pay to rent a MarketBeat list. It's pretty good money. So if you're looking for another way to spend money to buy emails, that's a way to do it. You do need to have a good landing page and a good offer though to make the math work out, but it's definitely doable. Put an opt-in form link in your email signature, so whenever you email somebody from your personal email, have a link at the bottom that gives them an opportunity to sign up for your stuff. That's an easy thing to do. You can do paid advertising on Facebook and Twitter through lead cards. So those are like one-click buttons where Facebook and Twitter will hand over the user's email address to you through an API. That's a really nice way to get affordable opt-ins through these social networks. So, really, it's just any kind of Facebook ad you would see, but then there might be a button that says sign up, but instead of them going to a sign up form, it'll just pass their email address on to you, or it'll pre-fill out a form, which works really well. Next, make your email shareable. So put a button inside your emails that will allow your recipients to share the content of that email with a friend. Most ESPs will do this for you. That's kind of a nice way to make your content a little bit more viral. And then when you're sending out content to your list, make sure you also put that content on your website. It'll give you a nice kind of long tail SEO benefit where people might find your email content on your website when they wouldn't have otherwise found it. So it's effectively, if you reuse your email content on your website, you're putting more pages for Google to find, index, and that'll hopefully cause you to rank for more keywords, get more people on your website, and then if you have your opt-in form set up, you'll get more email signups there. Question 4, what kind of email should I send to my email list? So there are 2 broad categories of messages that you're going to be sending to your audience over time. The first is autoresponders, and these are the messages that everybody is going to get when they first sign up for your mailing list. So if you go to marketbeat.com and you sign up, you'll get about an email every about 3 days for the first 90 days of your subscription. So there's a total of about 30 emails in this chain. And regardless of when you sign up, you will get these 30 emails in the first 90 days of your subscription. And the purpose of these emails is to provide a consistent set of content to everybody that signs up for your mailing list. So these emails will inform people about our products and services that we have. We'll tell them about free tools and resources on our website. We'll send them educational content. We'll try to sell them a few things. That way, everybody that's on your mailing list will learn kind of the basics about your company and what they need to know in kind of that first 90-day period. I do think every kind of 3 days is about right. It's not too aggressive and annoying, but it's also not too little where people just will never learn about you because you don't email them. So I like to do every 3 days for about the first couple months, and after 3 months maybe you keep it going, maybe you don't. You really have to check and see whether or not people are continue to be engaged at that point. The other type of email that you send to people are email blasts, and these are messages that go to your entire mailing list regardless of when they subscribed. There's lots of different reasons you would send an email blast. If you have a new piece of content, you might want to send that out to your entire mailing list. You might have a newsletter that you send out every week or every month. Certainly do that as well. You might have a new product you're launching. You want to do a campaign for that product. So you might want to send out 3, 4, 5 email blasts about one product over a couple of weeks. You might want to have somebody else's product you want to promote. But definitely, there's definitely a balance between, stuff that's just pure content and educational and, trying to sell them stuff. So, we send out a free newsletter every day. That's kind of the free value content. And then, we certainly don't try to sell people. we certainly send out far fewer emails than that, to try to sell people stuff. So for every one email with just pure content, helpful stuff, you should, have a balance of at least 1-to-1 of helpful stuff and stuff where you're trying to sell people. So there's kind of always the question of when should people start receiving email blasts. Typically, you don't want to send people 2 emails on one day, so if somebody is scheduled to receive an autoresponder message that day, they probably shouldn't get your email blast. What a lot of people do is they just wait till people are done with your autoresponder series to start sending them email blasts. That works. And what we do is if somebody is going to get an autoresponder that day, they just don't get the email blast from us, which is certainly fine because we always want them to get the autoresponder messages before they get the email blasts from us. So lots of different reasons to send email blasts, but you definitely want to do it at least once a week. Otherwise, people will forget that they're on your email list, and then they'll get upset and unsubscribe when you do finally email them, a couple months down the line. If you stop emailing people, they just kind of forget that they signed up for your list. Then when you email them, they think you're a spammer because they don't remember opting in. So definitely consistently send content to people, whatever that is. So maybe have like a Saturday newsletter or something like that, where people are always getting something from you every week. And that way they don't forget they signed up for your mailing list and continue to be engaged with your content. So there's the autoresponder series. Everybody gets that for the first 3 months. And then they move over to email blast. And then those are the one-off messages that you send to people to either share new content or try to sell something or promote somebody else's product. Definitely those are kind of the messages that you'll send to your audience. So those are the questions today. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my book about email marketing called Email Marketing Demystified. I think I can grab a copy over here off the bookshelf. That's this book. And Email Marketing Demystified is kind of a comprehensive guide to implementing email marketing in your business. So it really goes over, this is the, going off script for a moment, but this is the magical pink copy of Automatic Income that CreateSpace misprinted. There's like 5 copies of these in the world, so if you have one of them, maybe it'll be valuable someday, but probably not. All right, back to Email Marketing Demystified. It is the, I guess if you're listening to this on audio, that probably made no sense, but a book fell off my bookshelf. I picked it up, and it was the pink copy of my book. So Email Marketing Demystified. It is a comprehensive guide to implementing email marketing in your business. It goes over all the stuff we talked about in the show today in detail. It's $3 for the ebook on Amazon, so I'm definitely not getting rich off of it. But if you want to know how to build your email list, choose an email service provider, make sure that your messages actually get in your subscribers' inboxes, all the good stuff that is related to email marketing, go check out this book. It was definitely a passion project of mine. I didn't make a lot of money off of it, but the content's really good, so I hope you'll enjoy it. If you don't want to pay for it, send me an email. I'll send you a PDF copy. I don't need your $3. So that's the book. So those are the questions this week. Lost my place. This is definitely going to be one of the more off-script shows. All right, so if you would like to subscribe to next week, Monday's episode of Startup Q&A, go to the domain startupqa.co, and next Monday's show can be delivered to you automatically through any number of ways, whether that be email, Facebook, RSS, iTunes, YouTube, or Stitcher. We really try to be everywhere with the show so that you can consume it however you want to consume it. You can also follow me personally on Facebook at facebook.com/MatthewPaulsonPage. And on Twitter, my user ID is at MatthewDP, D as in dog, P as in pony. So if you enjoyed the show, go into iTunes, take a few minutes, leave a review. That'll help us out, and that will help us spread the message of financial freedom through the power of entrepreneurship to more people, and just help us, get this message to the world, and hopefully help more people start successful businesses that make money and allow them to quit their day jobs and build wealth and all that good stuff that comes with it. All right, that's the show. I'm going to cut it off here. Clearly, I am still getting over a cold and had too much Red Bull today. So that is the show. I will see you next Monday.